Alright, and we're finally back. Alright, making sure I didn't accidentally just mute everything here. Alright, so we have A-MEI-ZING versus Bismo Skillshots. Quickly checking, make sure I have the right sides for everything. A-MEI-ZING won the coin flip. Coin flip. They chose to have first hero pick. So then Bismo Skillshots banned Braxis and Volskaya. I guess they didn't want to go back to Volskaya after the last series there. And then A-MEI-ZING banned out Sky Temple and Tomb. And then Bismo Skillshots are taking us to Battlefield of Eternity for the first map of this match. Battlefield of Eternity is a very snowbally map. Very snowbally. It's like 61% win rate first fort, 80 something for the first two objectives if you win them both, and 96% if you win the if you get the first keep. That's it, first keep. A lot of that has to do with the amount of passive XP you can get during the objective time, because it tends to be pretty long. So I tend to look for a lot of early racers. I tend to look for things that can push pretty well with the objective, especially Savannah's pretty good. Shimro you can sometimes see on this map. Valariel, Vala plus Ariel, pretty good on this map. Ming gets pretty high priority sometimes. And a couple other heroes, Artanis, Rhaegar, Bismo Skillshots are the only team in heroic difficulty, heroic division, that I know of that play Artanis. Could see Artanis in this game. They're joking around because both teams said they're gonna be late, so they're like, it's 15 minutes past, game's over, let's go. We'll wait because A-MEI-ZING has another game starting at around 10 o'clock, so it should be immediately after this one, so we shouldn't have that long wait period in between. With Insomnia, which we saw last match, and then A-MEI-ZING is, and then most skill shots are done. So it's 3 teams, 3 matches, basically a mini round robin today. So that's exciting. So we're going to get to see all these teams play each other and see how they all match up. So we saw Insomnia beat Bismo Skillshots. We'll see how Bismo Skillshots do versus A-MEI-ZING. I don't know why I'm drawing blanks all the time. And then we will see A-MEI-ZING versus Insomnia, and we can probably get a general idea how that will go based on how these matches go. Insomnia versus Bismo Skillshots went pretty back and forth a lot of the games. Towers of Doom, they Bismo Skillshots tended to win outside the objectives, but just couldn't close without the objectives. And then in Volskaya, we saw that went where everyone just kept dying over and over again all the time. So there's that. And we're still trying to catch out. Apparently one of the players' power went out, so we're trying to juggle him back in real quick. I'm still waiting to be moved down to Observer because I don't want to accidentally end up playing. There we go. I'm now Observer. It looks like all the teams are here. I'll tell them that I'm ready whenever they are. I see that their fight is still pending. He's not able to join just yet. On that, what other stats do I have on Battlefield? Battlefield Eternity, in the middle of the season, because that's when these stats are from. 9 games have been played in Heroic Division on BOE. 44% of the time, the person with the first pick won. So, 44, it might seem kind of low, and generally it would be, but this is also Heroic, so it's very intense and high caliber. So, that actually, to me, I would look at 44 to 56 across 9 games and be like, even. It's pretty even. So, I'm not expecting first pick to have a huge advantage on this map, but could have a small influence having that counter pick in the off lane, seeing if the enemy team is going for the race, going for a more defensive comp. We'll give that away. And could be beneficial. We now have more people hopping in and out. of the lobby here, trying to get the right ones situated in the right spots. Still not quite able to get the right players in here. But, you know, all fun and games. It looks like they're just going to use a sub to draft with, and then come back, and then use the actual player, potentially. That's what they're looking at. So we're waiting to see that's going here. Still waiting. I didn't realize. Alright, so they're adding him in. Alright, so it looks like they're going to go ahead and do at least the draft, and then have someone dodge, and then get their actual player in, and then just do select heroes then. Okay, we draft. Alright, they're going to go ahead and draft here. So at least we'll have something to talk about while we're waiting for this player to come back. Just solidly making sure everyone's on the same page. They're saying restarting, so wait for the lobby delay, and then we'll have that second now. Man, they just... Alright, there we go. Battlefield of Eternity. This is just going to be the draft, and then we will come back to the lobby. We'll bring in the actual player. So, Pork, TT Pork, he is not actually playing. He is just here to draft, and then he will leave, and we'll have the actual player show up and play whichever hero was locked in for that role they want their players to play in. Looking ban-wise, you can see the Kira, you're going to see the Li Ming. I expect a new Brack to be banned out, potentially Abathur. People underestimate him on this map. The objectives tend to go long, which gives Abathur lots of value. Your team can race while down a man, as long as they're not being too heavily invaded. You just kind of dance around a lot with a lot of poke. There's the Anubrak ban. We know most Skillshots like to ban that one. See what A-MEI-ZING decides. They want to ban out more race, more burst. We know Insomniac have banning Alarak against most Skillshots. We will see if they tend to ban that out again. Going forward, we'll see if A-MEI-ZING has that same philosophy, if they don't want to give up that Alarak to them. They are going to ban it out. There must be... Missimo Skillshot must have a really scary Alarak player. It's not something you normally see banned out this much. But we are going to look for the last ban here from Missimo Skillshots. Could be the Ana, could be the Tronda, could be the Hanzo, could be... it's going to be the Ana. Not a bad ban. It's really hard to deal with anti-heal. Hard for your healer to get much value if they can't heal because you're anti-healed from Ana. Sleep Dart also super good, Nano Boost super good. There's the Sylvanas picked up. Talked about that a little bit earlier. Taking Merc Queen gives you the bonus damage on the Immortal. Even though it says Mercenaries, it does count towards monsters as well, which is what the Immortal is. As well as being able to turn off the buildings to let it push a little bit farther, a little bit harder in each of the fights. Also good AoE damage. I expect it will be Q build coming out from her to help deal with the Immortal a little bit faster. There's the Abathur Greymane coming out from Missimo Skillshots, so they're looking to pull this just a little bit more towards the mid game instead of trying to run it down at level 1, which is what A-MEI-ZING's trying to do. A-MEI-ZING's going to try to come out and snowball right away. Missimo Skillshots going to try to soak up a little bit and start winning around 10 and flip that story around using the longer objective times for that value. There is Arthas picked up to deal with the Greymane a little bit, and there's Lucio to help sustain. Lucio movement speed, really good. especially with the movement speed baseline being increased. And of course, Arthas, you just can't really get on top of Arthas as a Grey main, or you won't do much of anything. That slow aura, slowing down your attack speed as well as your movement speed. There's the Hanzo ban out, trying to help minimize some of that race potential from A-MEI-ZING. This Arthas could be a main tank or an offlaner, we've yet to see, as they've only had one tank slash bruiser locked in so far. Sumeru banned out by A-MEI-ZING, don't want to give him even more macro power over to his most skill shots. And Sumeru not that heavy in the skill shots, so you don't have to worry about missing most of your skill shots if your heroes just don't have them. I expect them to pick up a tank here, potentially that ETC or Garrosh that we saw them on in the last series. There's the ETC, and expect to pick up the main healer here as well. And there it is, the Toronto. A lot of race power coming out of them, even though they're only really going to be racing with 2 people and zoning with 1. And while Abathur is side soaking, the Grey main Toronto will be able to shred the Immortal quite fast on there as a duo. ETC can zone that out, help out a little bit if needed. Abathur Hat can also help out, but most likely will be used in the lanes for majority of the time, unless there's an actual team fight going on, or someone needs a little bit of healing. The last 2 picks coming out from A-MEI-ZING here. I expect a tank or offlane pick here, and something else. Maev Dahaka. Maev, super good. It's going to be main tank Arthas, and Dahaka is going to be the offlane to try and match that Abathur side soak and then global in at the last moment. We see Maev is going to try to set stuff up here, and then get some solid pickoffs potentially with the Sylvanas Q build, or just look to teamfight on with W build from Sylvanas. I feel like the Sylvanas will define the game plan for A-MEI-ZING here. With her level 1 talent choice, could also go percentage damage, but not really super necessary in this situation. The last pick will be Thrall from his most skill shot, so kind of that bruiser assassin that we see come out there. Also adjust this here to be Rabies facts. Facts. Not farts, rabies facts. I'm just kind of adjust that slightly there. Keep that nice and centered. So we have people swapping in and out now, so we can get the actual players in. And they got the actual players in, so now they're gonna go ahead and situate everyone. And go ahead and signify that I am ready whenever they are. And then we will see how that goes out in a minute. As they are preparing here. I'm excited. I think. Alright, let me just move this out of the way so I can just see everything here. I'm gonna guess, based on these drafts, we see here Sylvanas ready up there. She's the main one in front of me as the teams are doing the countdown. If A-MEI-ZING can snowball this, I think they'll take it pretty easily. I think it's up to Miss Most Skillshots to draw the game out as long as they can. I think they win later on it goes. We have Hammer playing Thrall, Super Tie on the Abathur, Homeless Cat playing Tyrande, Flyest Raven on ETC, and Carbon playing that Grey main. On the other side, we have Hunter C Jr. on the Arthas, Zura Mag on the Sylvanas, Gran Min on Dahaka, Tempest playing Lucio, and Fun Buns on Maev. And as we load into this game, see how this plays out. And I think it comes down to how much A-MEI-ZING snowballs compares to how well most Skillshots can delay it. Sylvanas can potentially snowball this, but Abathur is also going to be able to drag this game out potentially. Here we see our 4 quadrants of the Immortals. As we're preparing for this, we'll see, actually, looks like we might have a lane swapped here by A-MEI-ZING and an effort to get an early tower and try to get some early snowball going here. We actually have Rhyme picked up by Arthas, help deal with some of this auto attack damage, so there isn't much spell damage coming out from Miss Most Skillshots. I don't know why I got distracted by the countdown. It is going to be W build by the Sylvanas, so they are going to look to teamfight there. It's going to be the pressurized glands from the Abathur, so look for that. Echo of the Elements for Thrall, of course. There's some Abathur mines to try to zone out and figure out what's going on here. We actually see the lane swap being turned down, and they're going to swap back to their more traditional lanes here on the side of A-MEI-ZING. Taka going for Tissue Regeneration, Accelerando, Yasha's Memento. There's a big root coming out onto the Tyrande there from Arthas, but it's not going to be followed up by much damage. ETC hasn't picked a talent yet, so I'm expecting more of a block party scenario than over the more traditional prog rock, as he would have missed a globe already. And so map does harder to set globes on. Still interesting that he's still holding it. There's the block party, like I said. 6 stacks on the Savant's W. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we just have Dahaka and Thrall. Going to go back and forth a little bit. Down here, we have a lot of damage being traded into this, as it is a 4v3 pretty consistently due to the Abathur being in the top lane. Moving forward, but the wave clear advantage going over to Mismo Skillshots. We've seen that in the last game too, where they're pretty good at this early wave clear, where they tend to clear things out pretty quickly and pretty cleanly in the first couple waves. So we'll see how that continues to play out for them, as we see a power slide miss there on Buns. But they're going to dive forward there. They got the tether on the ETC, but not able to pull him even farther back. But he's still super low. He's going to end up falling there. First blood going over to A-MEI-ZING. If you got a subscription to Nexus Commentaries, you can throw out that first blood emote right now. It's actually one of the cool emotes. I really like it. We have the bottom siege camp going to be picked up by Buns there on the Maiev. Greymane actually diving in. He's going to get rooted. There's the Maiev as well. If she's got the tether, they're going to be able to pick him off. There goes Carbon getting pulled back. But he's going to get out with the help of the Abathur. Never mind Arthas' Q. He's going to finish him off. Arthas going to walk away with 36 health. This is the lowest number I saw. He almost gets sniped off by the Tyrande stun. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we actually have Thrall pushing forward pretty heavily there onto the Dahaka with the help of the Abathur. But not much else going on there, as level 4 advantage is going over to Team A-MEI-ZING. They're just going to start cleaning up the siege camp, trying to W that in from the ETC to push it a little bit closer. Meanwhile, Carbon on the Greymane is going to pick up that siege camp, and this siege camp is going to be picked up by Savannah and Tempest playing the Lucio. As we now have level 4s picked up for Mismo Skillshots. This is going to be the attack speed. Not too surprised with that talent pick at all. Manatide, True Shot Aura is a little interesting. Try to help with that race a little bit more. 2-man root coming out from Thrall. Will it be enough? He's going to be tongued as well after the Maiev tether. He's going to end up falling there. It's not quite enough, as Carbon's going to position for the race with the help of the True Shot Aura and the Tyrande passive. Eyes in the Dark going to be picked up there for the extra disengage options. And it is Merc Queen on Savannahs for their race as well. I think this first objective will define a lot of this game going forward. At least the pre-10 game will definitely be picked up a lot by this. ETC is trying to delay a little bit. We have a 5-man race on one side, and that duo race that we see on the other side, almost they're losing by about 2k, but considering that it was a 2v5 in terms of race damage, that one is actually surprisingly close. Almost worth looking to see if you can race with all 5 members on the side of Mismo Skillshot, as Tyrande is being dove here by the Arthas. Tempest on the Lucio is going to do some harassment as well. No one's racing for the side of A-MEI-ZING. This is the delay that Mismo Skillshots wanted, since it's going to give the Abathur time to passively soak. Maiev is going to dive in here on 2. They're going to use the Immortal Stun onto the Thrall. There's the Dahaka tongue, but it's going to be interrupted by the ETC DW, but it still doesn't matter. He's still going to end up falling there. In the end, Homeless Cat's also going to fall there to the Lucio, as you can't quite run away from Lucio quite that well at all without the extra help of some kind of mobility. There's a 2-man power slide. Greymane's in the middle of the Arthas, but he's still going to be able to do quite a bit of damage there. And they're going to start backing up here as their health bars are getting pretty low. Dahaka's going to stay, look to zone out a little bit, try to figure out if someone's there using the mine. There's the Abathur hat onto the Greymane. He's going to try to burn it here. 5,000 to 2,000 on terms of health, and it's a 3v2, 3v3 here now. But the Immortal Stun coming out onto both ETC and Greymane. There's the power slide into Maiev. They might be able to finish him up, but they're really trying to focus on the race. 600 health, 147 health. The first Immortal is going to go over to Mismo Skillshots there in a pretty tight race between them and Team A-MEI-ZING. As level 7 talents are now picked up for Team A-MEI-ZING, even though the Abathur is on the side of Mismo Skillshots, Team A-MEI-ZING's 5 kills to 0 is keeping them ahead in XP. Festering Runes there, so it's going to make that stacking a little bit easier. Feeding Frenzy to keep the tongue timing up. It's actually going to be Boombox instead of Reverse Amp on the Lucio, trying to get the extra aura size, basically. Going to place that down, then run off and do something else. Moon's Wrath there for the Maiev, as now we have We actually have double stuns going out there on Fun Buns and Maev, as we actually have the Arthurs running forward as well with the help of the Lucio there. We didn't even talk about that synergy coming out. There's the Boombox. He's going to back up to help pick off Carbon while also keeping the movement speed on the Arthas there. There goes the Greymane to Tempest, and the Immortal will fall after getting about 3/4 of the first fort of the game. We have Ancestral Wrath. We have Mule picked up, which is pretty big, as we already see it putting in work here, trying to heal this tower back up in the top lane. Inlet arrows coming out from there, and it is Pinball Wizard again on the ETC. We've actually been seeing that quite a bit recently in the games that we've been casting, so that's very exciting to see that extra burst damage coming out from ETC. Here he's going to go Power Slide. He's going to go ahead and use it there on the Sylvanas. He's getting pretty low on both mana and health, as there is Thrall trying to get a flank in there as they have the Abathur walking down to the bot lane to get of that soak going on. Sylvanas is going to be forced to back up here. We have 7 stacks on Tissue Regeneration, 73 stacks on Sylvanas' W as the Hammer walks into Fun Buns there. We're going to trade a little bit of damage, say hello to each other, but not much else is going to go on here. A little bit of damage ended up on the Abathur at some point here, but not much more than that, as the Dahako takes down the sidewall as a threat to him, saying you can't soak in this spot, you gotta move up here. And then he'll probably take that wall, as in the top lane we have Tirana being chased down by the enemy team. She's ended up gonna fall down as well. Carbon's gonna be forced into a bad, precarious situation as well inside that Arthas Aura. He's still trying to go in though, as Fly is raised and is trying to peel off a little bit for him, and we'll get them both out of that situation alive. As we have the next objective spawning in 17 seconds, both teams will again go for that Bruiser Camp, the all-important Bruiser Camp that pushes pretty heavily during the objective if you're not defending it, as it will continuously spawn the dogs to push for you. Mismo Skillshot is going to zone out and figure out how much time it's going to take for A-MEI-ZING to finish that off with the Owl, as both teams pick it up right as the objective spawns. You have Abathur on one side, and you'll have Dahaka on the other. One trying to push with, one trying to push against, to try to stop the C champs coming out, as level 10s are picked up for Team A-MEI-ZING, which is going to give them the advantage going into this objective. It's going to be Army of the Dead, Wailing Arrow, Isolation, Sound Barrier, and Containment Disc. So they're going to look to take someone out of the fight, potentially the Abathur evolved clone, which is the ult that we're expecting coming out from the Abathur, as we see Sylvanas get stunned there. Meanwhile, no one on this side racing as they're trying to pick up 10. Then they'll probably defend with 10, which they'll have in just a moment, probably with the help of Abathur. Where's the Abathur hat? It's over here on the Greymane, as there are level 10s picked up for Mismo Skillshots, and they're going to get ultimate evolutions just like we predicted. Starfall, Mosh Pit, and Bullet. Bullet putting in quite a bit of work. Last time we saw them on the Greymane against Insomnia there. Thrall's still waiting on his pick. We'll see what he ends up deciding he wants to go. And even though they started off 100 to like half, they're actually keeping up pretty well on Mismo Skillshots. They're not going to be able to win the objective, as these three up here were able to burn it faster than they could burn all of it. The Containment Disc missed there. Here comes a 2-man Mosh Pit though, and the backline bit's going to be tongued out and destroyed. It's actually going to be the Earthquake, but there's the silence coming out from the Wailing Arrow as well, as there's quite a bit of damage going back and forth here, as Greymane is trying to focus down on the Arthas. There's the Greymane clone going in pretty deep there, and Greymane's going to actually, the real Greymane's going to roll back and focus in on the Dahaka a little bit. And it's only the clone that ends up dying here in the end, as Super Ty is going to move back to the top lane here, start working on that XP while he leaves the rest of his team there to defend. They've already burned the shield and half of the health bar, so this is not going to get much more than the wall, as Fun Buns puts 2 back through the wall actually. There goes the main gate, there goes the tower, and there comes the Sylvanas passive turning off that building, and there goes Bullet onto the Sylvanas trying to put in work there. There's also the Thrall root on the side there. And there goes Lucio pushing forward. They're trying to get the Homeless Cat to die, and they're not able to do it, but they do take the fort, which is more than I thought they would take, but the power of Sylvanas prevails as they end up killing that off. Meanwhile, Abathur in the top lane, playing it safe, doesn't want to be digged right onto by the Dahaka, who's just going to walk up there anyways to keep that available in case he needs to go back down here. There's Containment Disc on the ETC, mid-power slide even, it looked like. He's going to come out of it. Is he going to be able to hold it? There's a bullet onto Arthas, and they're going to try to burn Hunter down, and they will in fact do so. Dahaka is also back down here. As we mentioned, he still was walking top, so he had the dig available. They're actually going to tongue Homeless Cat again, but there's the power slide, and there's going to delete the Dahaka in return. There's Maev pulling forward and going to pull 2 back into towers. There's the Lucio. He's going to end up keeping Toronto underneath the towers long enough to die, as well as someone's going to pick off Thrall there in the end. Even though they got the camp, they lost the fight, it seems, as it was actually an even trade 2-2, even though you have an Abathur up here. So you're actually going to and they're actually keeping the XP a little bit closer now than before. We have 110 stacks on Sylvanas' W. That's super important. We'll keep an eye on that number as that continues to scale infinitely throughout the game. As they're moving up here, we will see the pace start to slow down a little bit. The next objective that both teams will fight over will be this camp right here. Tissue regeneration was fixed as well. It was Hero Stalker picked up at 4 for the Dahaka for that little more teamfight sustain. As now we have them starting in on this siege camp, and Flyest Raven, I don't know why you want to say fastest, moving forward, there's another containment disc on the ETC, but they're going to put Thrall on top of it, try to hold it long enough for him to come out. It's not going to be the case, as he's going to go down. There's a big wailing arrow on the 2, but they're still going to pick off Fun Buns potentially. No, he's going to blink out at the last second, 400 health on him. Meanwhile, we have 2 still here, as we have the Arthas and Dahaka, but there's a lot of W damage coming out from Sylvanas, who's actually taking away on the Greymane there. He needs to be super careful. It's actually the Greymane clone that was getting low, not the actual Greymane. She's still actually going to push forward on that clone, because he can do that. Dahaka is going to look for the tongue onto Carbon here, and he's going to dodge this Tyrande stun, who's then going to pull him back because he is able to land the tongue. He's able to dive back out, but it doesn't matter. Maiva's able to dive in, and there's going to pull 2 back under Starfall. Tyrande is going to be the next focus target for A-MEI-ZING, and they're going to end up securing that kill as well. It's just the Thrall and ETC and Abathur left as they're down their Tyrande Greymane on the side of Mismo Skillshots. And they're going to push forward here, as now A-MEI-ZING is going to look to rotate off and burn the Immortal down. If Team A-MEI-ZING ends up taking this Immortal, it will push the top lane, as there's more structures there, as we see Mule come out and actually heal the tiny bit of health that was missing. If Mismo Skillshots get it, it will most likely go bottom, as there tends to be more health down there left than up here. And we'll actually probably most likely see this Immortal go over to the side of Team A-MEI-ZING, but you never know. We've seen crazier things happen in the past, as Flyest Raven is in the middle of them right now, trying to disrupt their race potential, interrupt some of those Sylvanas Qs that are going out onto the Immortal. There comes a Mosh Pit. It's just going to land on Arthas, but he's super low on ETC as well, and needs to be careful he doesn't die, as in fact Arthas will be booped out of the Mosh Pit, as there was a big wailing arrow, and they're actually going to finish off the ETC there. They also have the containment disc onto Tyrande there, and they're going to end up finishing that kill off as well as the Immortal. That's going to be a 200% health Immortal coming out, as it looks like they had no damage done to the shielding at all. So it's going to spawn, it's going to go top lane as we predicted, because there's more health up there, and that's where it goes. And now they're going to look to push that down, as they're about to pick up 16s here on Team A-MEI-ZING. Doing a fantastic job of trying to snowball this game. They're going to have the Sylvanas. They'll probably not use the Sylvanas passive here, but they'll use it down here. Fun Bun's already positioned here to try to cut someone off right here or here and get that kill for their team all set up nice and pretty like. And here goes the first fort. Still have the Sylvanas passive available. They're actually pinging out, trying to find the Maiev tether. Not able to find anyone at the gate location itself. There's a big slow onto ETC from the on the Arthas from the Tyrande Owl. That talent's been picked up now as well. As we have the ranged auto attacks coming out from the Immortal, as it still has shielding, and that means it has the extra auto attack length, as both teams are trading back and forth, trying to mix it up between pushing, between sieging, between hero damage, as there comes the Sylvanas W just shredding people all along that back line of Team Mismo Skillshots. And there goes the keep. It's going to be down to half health already. Still have the Sylvanas passive, I believe, available, but they might have used it here. I think I did catch a little bit of it there. As ETC's getting pretty low, and there goes True Shot Aura, but it doesn't matter. ETC is going to fall down. There goes Containment Disc onto the Thrall. They're going to pop that right away. Here comes the Army of the Dead from Arthas as well. They're sitting right on top of it. There's the Haka Tongue. They're going to finish off the Thrall. This is most likely will be GG, as Homeless Cat will also fall on the Tyrande. Carbon still alive there on the Greymane, though. Looking to do some work there. He's going to get danced around by Tempest on that Lucio. He's still there, but there comes the clone as well as some B-steps from Fun Buns. They're going to instantly just back off. And that's game 1 going over to the side of Team A-MEI-ZING. And we will update the score this time, try to keep that up to date the whole time this round, compared to last time. As we see here, we have siege damage actually going over to Dahaka, then the Abathur, which is not really what you're looking for. XP in the same way, that's why they weren't able to keep up in XP that whole time. Hero damage is going the way of Greymane, though, by about 2k, that extra bullet damage there, but, I mean, it's pretty hard when you don't really kill many. You only kill 2. You only killed the tanks once, and ever able to finish off that backline presented by Team A-MEI-ZING. Healing goes over to Lucio because he's able to passively heal a lot of that poke down, and then also having the big sound barrier ults, and then Tyrande there with about half of that number. Going into game 2, we be looking at Mismo Skillshots having their choice of what they want. I imagine that they will end up going map pick. They had that map pick, but it didn't look super great for them. They didn't pull off anything crazy in it. They did go for the Abathur play, and it didn't seem to work out for them that time around. Could see them go for something a little bit larger and go back for that Abathur. Maybe Cursed Hollow, as it wasn't banned out this time. Infernal Shrines is also an objective map that can do it. Well, Skya was banned out because they didn't want to play that again. Towers of Doom also available, but we saw Mismo Skillshots already lose on that one. And then they could also choose first hero pick to try to pick up one of their picks that they prefer. Maybe try to get that Ana. In which case, it would be Team A-MEI-ZING that would have the map pick. And they were winning the team fights pretty well. So maybe take them something a little bit smaller. Tomb was banned out. So Braxis was banned out. So Alterac Pass. Alterac Pass would be a fun map. I wouldn't mind Alterac Pass. Other places we could go. What else is even in rotation? We can just sit here and name all the maps in rotation. Sky Temple was banned out, so not that map. BOE. Waiting for the next map to come up here. As we had people asking for the stream link, but I didn't see it because I'm generally not that screen. We are waiting for the next one, and they have yet to give the word on where we're going, doing. I imagine that they will end up taking map pick. I'm trying to find a map that they're comfortable on, that they can take this team on. Try to push it to game 3. Meanwhile, Team A-MEI-ZING has another game that starts in approximately 13 minutes against Insomnia. So, they need a map where they can end the game in like 4 minutes by the time you get through draft and everyone will be. Most likely they have a deal with an Insomnia where they can show up a little bit late. We'll also be capping that one. As we're actually going to Cursed Hollow, I imagine that will actually turn out to be the map pick for Mismo Skillshots, and it is. Most Skillshots took us to Cursed Hollow, as first pick is going... Actually, no. Never mind, because you always look for a first pick. First pick is going to be Mismo Skillshots, which means the map pick was Team A-MEI-ZING. Team A-MEI-ZING trying to take them to the larger map, trying to add macro them again, because the Dahaka did outsoak the Abathur. So good job on them. So, potentially looking for those two heroes to be banned out, or picked again. The Maiev did very good as well. Could also see... The Arthas was good because it was into the Grey Main. Lucio put in a lot of work. Unsung hero of that game. A lot of kills were finished because Lucio was able to dance around, boop him back, use his new push-off passive. And they're heading the correct people, and we'll be starting in a moment. They're joking around about not heading the captain. So, first pick is going to be on the side of Mismo Skillshots. I'd expect it to be the Abathur if it's not banned. Could be the Dahaka. I didn't even care if I was ready. That's fine. Usually I am. I'll make it work best I can. And here we go. Cursed Hollow, Game 2. Team A-MEI-ZING up 1-0 in the best of 3 series. And we are looking forward to this game as we have Mismo Skillshots versus that Team A-MEI-ZING. Expect this to be something along Abathur, Dahaka, and then the other team ban the other one, and then look at the Kira ban, and then look at Ana, Li Ming. Actually, Kira made it all the way through draft last game, didn't she? Just not valuing her. Team A-MEI-ZING deciding that they don't want to deal with Mismo Skillshots Li Ming. We did see that before. A little interesting, different build coming out from her, but did put in work. Top the hero damage charts. They also will play the Ana to nano boost that Li Ming to heights unknown. No, so Mismo Skillshots should have picked the map then, because Team A-MEI-ZING has first pick. I apparently just can't figure out who did what. So Miss Mo Skillshots took us to this map, taking the larger map, probably for an effort of taking Abathur or Dahaka. As Sumero gets banned out by Team A-MEI-ZING, maybe they're looking for that pick as well. Alarak will make it through this time around. Something we've seen banned out every other game against Miss Mo Skillshots so far today. I expect this ban to be either Abathur or Dahaka, though I guess you let the other one through, so you let them both through and you ban out something else instead. And the ban is going to be shown here in a second, and it's going to be the Abathur ban. So Dahaka is going to make it through as the primary global that's left on the table. Falsehead is available, but generally isn't picked over Dahaka because he doesn't bring enough right now to the table. Brings a lot, but not the stuff you're generally looking for, not in your offlane at least. Brightwing still available as well for the double support option, though can only global in and can't global back out if needed. To the OD push also lacks wave clear options for the mid to late game. It's going to be the Sylvanas again for Team A-MEI-ZING, as they're going to try to just snowball this game again. They made good use of that passive last time to push down. A little bit weaker on Cursed Hollow, as the objective does Sylvanas' passive for her. But you never know. You never know how it's going to play out. They could cheese. They could just juice Pirates. We've seen juice Pirates before here on Nexus commentaries pretty recently. We could see it again, potentially pulled out in Heroic Division. Probably play a little bit cleaner. There's the Hanzo Anubarak picked up on the side of Miss Mo Skillshots. Also, the Anubarak made it through ban phase this time. Something that Miss Mo Skillshots have banned out every other game so far that we've seen today. It's going to make it through this time. They're going to go and pick it up along with the Hanzo. Hanzo could go W build and go for boss racing options and like tear down the boss. Could also go into Q build for hero damage. Could go Redemption. Should be a little bit spicier here, as it makes him a good focus target for Team A-MEI-ZING to eliminate that power threat. It's going to be Murden, and it's going to be Lucio, both of which are decent picks. We see the Lucio coming out for Team A-MEI-ZING and did a lot of work in the last game, making sure they were able to finish off a lot of those kills. Murden going to be able to jump in and do a lot of that damage, as well as slow down auto attack speed again. There's the Dahaka bin from Miss Mo Skillshots. A little surprising no one picked him up this earlier than that. And it's going to be the Zeratul banned out by Team A-MEI-ZING. Still lets the Alarak through that everyone's been banning so far today against them. But we'll see if they end up deciding that that's where they want to go with this, or if they want to keep going another route. Oh my gosh. We still have another set after this. I can't be getting tired. Sugar. Anyways, as we see Miss Mo Skillshots here, I imagine it's going to be a healer plus maybe their other DPS. They're going to take the Maiev here, and they're going to take the Brightwing. Okay, so they're going to look to global that around, try to keep that with their, just leave it in lane, go where you want to go, and then global it. And there's a Hammer pick from Team A-MEI-ZING. Sergeant Hammer reporting for duty. Sergeant Hammer. So we're playing Protect the Hammer on side of Team A-MEI-ZING, and Miss Mo Skillshots' job is going to be focus the Hammer. Is it going to be a last pick Morales? It's going to be the Blaze. Very beefy front wall. Murden and plus Blaze is a lot of health bars to get through, let alone you have to get past that into the Hammer, get past the Hammer unstoppable, and then kill her. Now, that's going to be tough to do as she's running away with the Lucio movement speed. Also, Sylvanas there as well. A lot of pushing power on side of Team A-MEI-ZING. Could just 5-man down lane, try their hand at that. Strat, a little bit weak at times, especially if the enemy team has a global in the form of Brightwing, as we're going to look to see what the last pick is on the side of Miss Mo Skillshots in response to this Hammer. It's going to be the Chen. Chen can do it. Chen can just run in and try to burst down the Hammer. Q kick in to try to bait out the knockback from Hammer, and then as soon as that's out, ult, jump back in on top of her. Probably going for the root, honestly, instead of the extra bonus damage. But we'll see how that plays out. Could also dive in with the help of Maiev. You also have the Brightwing that could dive in, and then Emerald Wind everyone else by Zing in on top of someone. Probably the... You also have a Nubarak. We haven't even talked about the power of Cocoon in this game going forward as we take a look at who's playing what. The Hammer is playing Chen and not Hammer. Carbon's playing Hanzo. Super Tai on the Maiev. Homeless Cat playing Brightwing this round. And Flyus Raven on Nubarak. Fun Bun's playing that Sergeant Hammer. Hunter C. Jr. on the Murden. Tempest playing Lucio Gromnin on the Blaze. And Zara Mag on the Sylvanas. I can't even predict who would win this one. Can't even predict it. Such a crazy game. You have Miss Mo Skillshots playing without a healer, because they're playing with a Brightwing. And you have Sergeant Hammer on the other side, So you're playing Protect the Hammer. This is Caldor's 2 least favorite healers, if you didn't know that. He doesn't like either one of them. Woo. We see W build coming out again from Sylvanas. We see the Accelerando again from Lucio. For the extra rotational power, we see Hammer plus Blaze in the top lane. There's going to be a pause here. No reported. Don't know what for. Turn around. Just see the word reported. But regardless, we have Sergeant Hammer. It's like the most... Sergeant Hammer is probably like one of the most boring hype heroes for a caster. Because it's spicy, it's different, it's Hammer. But it's also Hammer as the team startup again. And she just kind of sits there and right clicks things. And it's... Do they fight under Hammer or not? And that's all it is. So you have Sylvanas on one side. They're going to cheese bot with Sylvanas, but they're going to cheese top with Hammer. Which side will show first will probably drag the team there. So which side do they not want to show first is more important to what they want to get done here. Is they're going to actually probably show bottom first, it looks like. Yes, they're going to show bot first. She's going to have a 4-man rotate, 5-man rotate from Miss Mo Skillshots, which is going to allow the Hammer and Blaze to sit up top. Now Nubrek's sniffing that out. He's going to go ahead and top. Got half tower bot already, but you also have half Sylvanas. And in the top lane, you have half a tower there. And, like, no damage. So, what a way to pull people around the map for sure. Threaten Sylvanas on one side, Hammer on the other, pulling them around by a leash. His first objective will be top lane. Nubrak can't do much to stop this. Just going to see him every so often. There's the Brightman coming out now, but the tower's already gone there. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, you now have Chen and Hanzo versus Lucio Sylvanas. And level 1 just now picked for Blaze. Nubrak still hasn't picked his talent. Could look in a lot of variety of directions here as well. I have sit in that mid lane, and sitting nice pretty, sitting soaking that XP in. It's going to look to be W build as Hanzo dies to the Sylvanas, who's now also going to choke down Chen pretty hard. He's going to drink away his different stagger dot damage. Hammer's now doing the siege camp in the bot lane. Meanwhile, you have 3 people in the top lane. Miss Mo Skillshot, there's Murden just checking out this. Miss Mo Skillshot just like forced to run around this map and constantly deal with all this different sets of pressure in the form of Sylvanas and Hammer and Blaze. And Sylvanas getting out just a little bit of health there, 248 health there we saw for a second. There is the siege camp going to come down there and help her out in just a second, and it walks there. Going to be staggering behind the wave a little bit, but we'll see how that ends up working out for them. Meanwhile, they're going to go ahead and work on the Bruiser camp on the side of Miss Mo Skillshots. On Team A-MEI-ZING, Miss Mo Skillshots is going to pick up the siege camp. Chen's working on that Bruiser camp for them. Meanwhile, Brightwing sitting in the bot lane against Sylvanas, a little bit low on weave clear like we were talking about earlier. And she's going to sit there and try to clear this out, but against the Sylvanas with a siege camp, it's going to be pretty deadly. You're going to need help there for sure. It is going to go ahead and be the unstoppable there for Hammer. We're still going to be about to finish this up. Tempest's getting a little low. They're going to swap out who's tanking this damage, it looks like. They actually leashed the camp, so they only killed 1, but now they have to start over. Not even going to bother sieging up this time. Funbuns is sniffing out that Bruiser camp, but not able to step on the point fast enough. Chen's going to get the big heal there from Brightwing, but the siege camp was left behind. Meanwhile, Sylvanas also left that lane pretty recently. She rotated out. We're actually going to see these two are going to be late to the objective. Brightwing's going to be forced to walk up there pretty early on if they want to be at that objective at all. It looks like it's going to be Q-Build coming out from Brightwing right now, so expect Hush at 16, which would be a pretty big, impactful talent for her, as we see that camp finally picked up, and we see Funbone's going to rotate around on that Hammer, potentially try to defend this, while the rest of the team is looking to get the objective. We see Carbon's going to be dove on here and double stunned out and die. The power of Blaze Murden right now, that extra, and that lower wind-up time on Blaze, allowing him to secure more of those stuns for himself. As now we have the camp plus Funbuns trying to defend against the camp plus 3. They're going to heavily dive underneath this fort. They're taking some damage, but it doesn't quite matter because you have the Nubrak Beetles, plus you have the stagger onto Chen. He's taking a lot of stagger damage here, and there he goes. He's even going to die. Sylvanas not himself. Flyest Raven is taking a lot of damage there on a Nubrak as well. 180 health on him, 70 health on him. He's going to end up dying to the Lucio chase down. That Lucio putting in work again in this game, just showing the power of being able to chase down, going into the boombox again, and it's supersonic. Just the extra passives that they're doing a good job of landing. Reverberation there picked up from Muradin. Give him the Axe. It is going to be Q-Build from the Hanzo. It's Unstable Poison for the Sylvanas Possession or Merqueen, both of which would have potentially given her more push power in these style scenarios. As now they're pushing in here, using the Spell Armor on the Hammer to make it even harder to diverse. They're going to go ahead and move out. There's the Sylvanas passive, just doing a little bit of extra work on that tower. There's the gate. Mismo skill shot, looking for any opportunity to take a clean team fight here and just win the fight, because like they can't win the push game against Sylvanas and Hammer. It's really hard to win the push game. Here's a Boombox acting as a little ward for Team A-MEI-ZING, as Super Tai is trying to pull them in, but it's the Unstoppable from Fun Buns there on the Hammer, and the Anubrek's getting into the middle of the enemy team, and they're going to focus down on the Blaze and kill him off in Squirrel form. Homeless Cat's going to back off a little bit as Braven got pretty low. Going to use the cleanse there. They're going to stun out Muradin, but do they have the damage to finish him? They're going to tether 3 back in. There's the Nubrek diving back in. Both teams getting pretty low. It's going to be the Hammer, then the Braven that are going to fall. Then the Lucio Maev. Both teams trading kills back and forth. Chen's diving in now. 140 health on him, and Muradin's going to fall at the same time. 170 health on the Sylvanas, and they're going to end up falling as well, as the Nubrek survives, and Hanzo survives, and Blaze just respawned. 4 for 3 in that team fight. That was what Mismo Skillshots was looking for. They need to win these objectives because that's their opportunity to push. They're not going to have many opportunities into Sylvanas and a Hammer. As we see people going forward, they're just going to go back to lane, soak up. The race to 10 is on as both teams are in the level 9. They're looking for that level 10. Interesting to see what Hammer goes. Hammer could go for the extra siege power of Napalm. Could go for the burst in team fights that is big freaking gun. As we see Hanzo and Muradin trading jumps in opposite directions there. But they're going to be sniffed out by the Sylvanas, and they're going to finish off Carbon. But there's the ulti from Hanzo, as 10s were picked up now for both teams, really. And it's Haymaker Playmaker coming out from Muradin. Hunter trying to be a little bit spicy in this game. It is BFG coming out from the Hammer. Sound Barrier, Bunker, Wailing Arrow. So, it's Warden's Cage this time around. And Cocoon, Emerald Win. This is the ulti to look for, though. Haymaker Playmaker. Gonna be the big setup there for Team A-MEI-ZING. They're gonna stun out Chen. There's the Emerald Win, though, peeling him off just a little bit. Sager also gonna help out with that. Braven's gonna back to get mana. He probably has the Z up to come back, as they are Z build available on the Brightwing. And they're going to push forward here, and we're looking for Sylvanas is going to start channeling. Hammer was sitting up here, zone that out. They're going to stun out Carbon there. Muradin's just jumping into the enemy team here, and he doesn't care. There goes 66 health on the Hanzo. BFG missed. There's the Q damage coming out from Sylvanas. She's going to eat up. She's diving forward, but she's going to get the tick damage. She's going to turn off one tower. There's the Warden Cage as well. She's going to end up diving as she was within this fort, taking that damage from it. Being a little bit greedy on that kill. There's an Unstoppable from Hammer, dodging the Nubrek Q as well, as both teams are trying to just kind of peel back from this fight at this point. Well, also there's a Beetle chasing Blaze. Both teams at level 11 here. Both teams probably going to be looking for boss plays. There goes Team Mismo Skillshots. And meanwhile, Team A-MEI-ZING is instead going to pick up the Bruiser Camp. Chen going to get rooted here, but Muradin's going to come sniff this out, potentially just instantly kill Maev. Has a chance, but almost tries to do it with the Haymaker Playmaker, down to 280 health on Maev. Chen's also low, forces the leash onto that boss, the 1v4 leash. And there's Blaze, just kind of there now. 3 members for Team A-MEI-ZING in this little triangle pattern. While Lucio's going to rotate in now, so now we have a little run by. For them, we have a nice line coming out here from Mismo Skillshots. They're going to scout out Blaze here. What are they going to throw at him before Bunker comes out? There's the Chen diving in as well. They're trying to interrupt the channel on the Brightwing. There's the Hanzo ulti as well as Bunker coming out. There's the Z from Brightwing, 100 health on Maev, but it's going to be Blaze is going to be the first to fall. 200 health now on. There goes another BFG that's going to miss again. Come on, Fun Buns, you can do better than that, as both teams are trading in here. Chen and Muradin going to box it out a little bit with the help of Lucio. The Chen ulti was interrupted by the Lucio boop, and that's going to seal the deal on that kill. As now they're going to chase down Brightwing as with all their mobility abilities, as well as the Lucio movement speed. There's a big ulti from Maiev, but there's no one else there, so she's going to end up falling down as well. And now they have the option of both the objective and boss steal on the side of Team A-MEI-ZING. It looks like they're going to move over to Bruiser Camp, potentially. No, they're going to get Curse here, so they're just going to set up for the Curse already. We're going to chase the Nubrak down as he's down to quarter health. He's going to end up mounting and getting away, as there's the Curse for Team A-MEI-ZING, as they have what feels like a pretty solid lead in this game, even if it's only a level lead. It's now Healing Stay picked up for them as they have the 13 talent slip, as well as Remorseless on the Sylvanas coming out this time around. The Sun out on Hammer. They're trying to finish her off. There's the Polymorph as well, but she ends up underneath that spell armor. It's going to be nice and pretty protection for her. There's the W damage from Sylvanas going out on the team. There is the Cocoon, but it's going to be burned down by both Hammer and Lucio. There was a big BFG that game, that round, as they blew up the Brightwing underneath. There goes the top fort. Bottom fort also gone. As the Team A-MEI-ZING is just going to be able to siege for days with the power of Hammer and Sylvanas. And there goes the whole keep wall there. Mismo Skillshot also needs to defend these huge mini waves that are off to the side. Carbon's also going to be pressured out by Murd in there. Haymaker should be Haymaker is back up, because I forgot I could check up here. Everything but Wailing Arrow and BFG is back up for Team A-MEI-ZING, as they, using that Bruiser Camp, able to secure an entire keep already on the first one, as well as one keep wall. This is going to be cleaned up. They're going to be able to go to get a top boss now that they can then use the Sylvanas for to push in. But Mismo Skillshot knows this, of course, because it's a pretty choreographed play. They're using quite a bit of things here as different wards. They're going to stun the Nubrak, who's then going to be CC'd to death by the power of Murden and Blaze combined. They did leash the boss for it, but you know what? Without their tank, Mismo Skillshot is going to be forced to back off, and they're going to have all the time in the world to get this. Doing the right play. They're going to go ahead and trade bosses before Team A-MEI-ZING come down here and make a double boss play. The first boss is going to be secured now for Team A-MEI-ZING, and they're going to race down to the bottom lane. They sent Murden pretty early down there, so he has a chance to go Haymaker, Playmaker things, as well as Q to steal this boss. Double stun coming out for him. A lot of pings coming out. There's the Maiev Tether. He's going to peel him away, as well as the Emerald Wind. There's the Maiev ulti. There's a big EFG. It's not going to hit any heroes, but it was good to zone them out. So that is going to be a boss for each team picked up, as well as 16 talents going over to Team A-MEI-ZING. Rejuvenation, Scenario, however you want to say that talent, picked up some different dash talents picked up there for Blaze. And they're just going to use the Sylvanas Bastard to push down this keep anyways, keeping the enemy team from being able to go defend top boss. It's Life Drain on Sylvanas, as well as Dwarf Launcher. I feel like you need Dwarf Launcher if you go Haymaker. It's also Giant Killer on the Hammer. Look for attack speed potentially on 20 for that, and it will make her quite a threat to anyone inside of it, including the tanks. You can't build up enough health in that situation, as we continue to see W build come out from Nubrak. It's going to be Pixie Power coming out from Brightwing there. So some CDR as well as the extra spell armor protection on that. It's going to be a Ring of Fire for the Chen, not going Q, not going to go enough to share, but instead going to get that. They have a lot of things they can just spawn in a spot to get vision. They're still sitting there. Tempest is going to finish that channel, while the rest of the team is going to go take the vision point, potentially look at that Siege Camp, but the Siege Camp is picked up too quickly for that. And now the teams are going to posture around. What do they want to go do next? Mismo Skillshots just kind of turtling for now, trying to catch 16 before they can really do much. There's the BFG just clearing waves. Missed 2 minions, but it doesn't quite matter, as the actual mini wave will finish those off. Here's 16 picked up now for Mismo Skillshots, as they're looking to scout out this siege camp. Or never mind, they're going to go for the fort. It's got 825 health. You do have beetles going to come out from the Nubrak. They're going to quickly finish that off. Bruiser Camp, meanwhile, is picked up by Team A-MEI-ZING. They're going to look at the siege camp now and look for them to push for something, or maybe not. They'll just go for the objective. Could also go for a backdoor threat. Would be a bit of a Hail Mary, but they could also have the time to do it, because then they'd have time to respawn and defend the core. If you want to go for that all-in YOLO kind of play style, looks like they're not going to do that because they're boring. Instead, they're going to go for the top objective, help defend that siege camp that Blaze is working on, and then get that channel, bringing them up to 2-1 on the objective, looking for that second curse for them. Full knives. And there is Hush also for Brightwing. The big silence coming out from her. 1 second silence. Every 3 seconds. There's Haymaker going to push the Hanzo into the Blaze, who's then going to not get the Brightwing Z, but instead going to be picked up by BFG as Maev ulti was on 4 there. Meanwhile, I feel like Fun Buttons could channel this right now, and it is going to go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, Hammer in the backline, hoping not to get his ulti interrupted again, is instead going to go ahead and get off the Panda Pals, and there they go. Hunter CJ on the side, he's going to mount up. There's a 4-man stun coming out from Blaze, including all 3 Panda Pals. Maev is super low there, 160 health, and she's going to die. There's another stun, but it doesn't matter. Hammer Pals runs out, and baby real life Chen is not looking too good either. There's the staggered damage, 160, never mind, he's just dead. And they're going to push forward here. They probably have Sylvanas passive, so they're going to take this tower. There's Hush value again. Yep, there's the Sylvanas passive. They're going to look to take this keep down. They probably could just go for the game, but they're going to go ahead and get the triple keep just in case they can't. And, you know, they don't really have any mini waves coming up either. There's the Sylvanas passive going to run out, but the top wave is there in time for that to soak it for them. And they continue to burn this. 15 seconds on Maev, 24 seconds on the Chen. And they're just going to back out. They have all 3 keeps down on the side. Missimo skill shots. And Team A-MEI-ZING looking to make a play. Looking for something to do. The siege power that they have with the Hammer Sylvanas comp is incredibly strong. And they now have 20s. Bunker upgrade, rewind, house party. Hammer launched her ulti. Has not picked 20, so she's planning on going orbital. She's going to miss out on some value there. She has to wait for the whole cooldown to come back. Pulse of the Storm, and it's going to be Ultra Capacitors, which is that movement auto attack speed that we talked about briefly at the 16 with Giant Killer. There's a 2-man stun coming out from Nubrek. There's a Cocoon on Lucio, but it's already got dot damage, and Nubrek's already looking pretty low, but it doesn't matter if the Brightwing Z comes in time. There's a big ulti from the Maev, but it's going to be bunkered out by some. Fun Buttons going to dump out the backside. Chen, meanwhile, is 100% of his health going away. Meanwhile, 2 dock damage. He's going to be finished off. There goes the Nubrek as well. 4-man down. 4-man down as Lucio looks to chase down the Hanzo. They're going to stun him out. Haymaker came out as well. They're all dead. That's a 5-man team wipe, and curse going over to Team A-MEI-ZING. That's going to be GG. That's going to be game 2 for sure. It's pretty hard. You can't defend if you're dead, and you already have Katas coming out. GG's coming out from the teams as well. 2 Katas already on core. There's the Sylvanas, there's the rest of the team. A-MEI-ZING. Calling GG's as we look to finish this game off. They're going to send up the Hammer. A lot of siege power coming out from them. Definitely felt like a strong option for them. There's the Lucio ulti, just to make sure no one dies at the end. Misses the Sylvanas, not able to fully inflate his stats either. As we take a brief look at the stats here, we see hero damage going over the way. Sylvanas followed by Hanzo. Death, though, solidly in favor of Team A-MEI-ZING. Tanky damage going to Chen, but if you have 5 deaths, how much does it mean? Meriden did a good job. He's up there. He's definitely up there, but only having 1 death is pretty solid. CGM actually going over the way to Blaze, as these were probably primarily building this time around. Alright, so by answering that question, that is match 2 over a 3-match series that we're having today. The next match will be Insomnia, which we saw in the first set, versus Team A-MEI-ZING, the winner of that set. It's actually going to be the 2 winners facing off, so I know Insomnia, I think, has to win this next set to get into playoffs. So, interesting take for them as they're playing for their playoffs stake here, which will start tomorrow. And Team A-MEI-ZING just looking for those extra points, a little bit better seed potentially, take some nicer bracket challenge going on for them. And we will cut the stream, and we will be back shortly with the next set, so that way we can make sure everyone gets their own VOD that they can watch, as well as when we upload all of them to YouTube. So we will be back shortly, and we will see you all when we come back with Insomnia versus Team A-MEI-ZING. Pretty hard to keep all the teams, even though there's only 3, when you keep bouncing around which combinations are. It's pretty obnoxious.